change. We spent a lot of money outside of the approved budget. Consider us very many. Yeah, so I don't.
He said, I said, we'll review it. So I was in charge. So I told this time. That's it. You change the yeah.
Well, when you said it, make sure that
I'm with her.
okay, I'm gonna get out of here.
It's always like that.
It is now 6 o'clock. Will please rise to the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take attendance here. Councilperson Tim Kelly,
Councilman Tim Kelly is present.
Councilperson Diane Klein,
Present.
Councilperson Jeff Dougherty.
Here.
I'm here. All right. Greg Simpson has, Wednesdays is not a good day for him to come to board meeting, so he has something else involved, so. Okay. Okay. I was gonna say chemical one. Everybody went down. Is it round two?
Remember, Cruella de Vil, we're here to check the wires and switches.
All right, first order of business is public be heard. Okay.
The motion to open.
Motion to open public be heard.
Second.
Second here, in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mike Rosiano. You're first.
Just my third year that I'm waiting for Mike Shoulders to repair a drainage ditch in front of my house. And the latest information I got from him was that it's going to get done when the work that Bernier Larios have done with Baker Brothers on Woodland and Wayside Drive, the drainage ditch that was filled in. You know, Mike was just out there. Both Mikes were out there recently looking at some work. So that was about over a month ago that the road has been dug up and filled with stone. And so I have a three-part question. First of all, am I on some kind of town list that says that someday that some repair in front of my house will be done? And number two is the work that was done mid-May. That's the blacktopping of the road, repairs the road. So from Wayside Woodland is going to get done. Is there a list of some sort that I should be on? You know, I believe, Mike, that someday it will get done. I just don't want to find out that I didn't get an official.
You said the two mics went up there.
You
And Mike Shoulders?
and Mike Shoulders, we're looking at the
Right, this is
my
like,
neighbors.
this was last week.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, the crushed stone that's on the road is now all over both streets.
All right, I spoke to Mike Shoulders about that. They're waiting for the road to settle. They just put their culverts in there and everything.
Yes.
And they're waiting for the road to settle before they can put paving on it. I believe that's what you're gonna be doing next, Michael, right?
So that paving is going to be done and my addition is going to be done.
Right now, we're just prepping a couple of roads. They're coming in July 8th to pave, and then we're going to go down. We wait for those things to settle.
No, I understand.
Otherwise, if we put back up in, and the end, it'll go to boom, and then every time UPS goes through, you know.
So, yeah, I believe that he's gonna get it done. So he's watched this, is that the process the
Yes.
town uses?
Yeah, that's part of the Kimball Terrace project.
Yes, yes.
And so basically, it's all finished, but now we just have to wait for the road to settle and then pave it.
Okay,
You want the paving list.
okay.
You go from the drainage list to the paving list.
And I'll
You're
be
already
out
there.
I'll be out there digging too, maybe, All right, thank you.
Okay.
Joanna?
Hello, I'm Joanna, 26 Arnold Drive, and I'm here.
That's your last name?
And Anna. I am a new homeowner at 26 Arnold Drive. Bought the house last year and have since also discovered many drain and flood issues in our neighborhood. And of course, none of this is ever disclosed prior to buying your house. And just weeks after I closed on my house, my entire driveway filled with water, and I could see the track of potential flooding in my house. So just to comment, I have done my part by spending a lot of money having my driveway redone, having a swale put in. Mike Joltis has been responsive in putting a bump at the end of the driveway. This is all road runoff from Arnold Drive. You can see that, you know, there is no drainage. I have, of course, since learned too that this neighborhood notoriously has water issues. The drainage project has not been completed in this neighborhood. I understand it was started in the upper part of this neighborhood, but it's not been completed in the lower part. So I would like to know, or to get this on the agenda, that this project should be finished.
I can answer that also.
Okay.
We just made aware of the problem. Just a few days ago, you sent me a picture of your flooded driveway.
Okay, well, that's a concern that you're just made aware because I had alerted him last year at this time. And I was informed that, you know, it was in a process of money trying to be raised to complete this project. But, you know, then I've since heard from other neighbors that this has been ongoing of being told that money is trying to be raised.
We just completed Wildwood, which for instance, 17, no, we're working on Wildwood.
This is
But that
not
took 17 years to get the
All
money
right,
out.
well,
So you got
you
15
know,
more
I'm
years.
a new homeowner and I'm trying to protect my investment.
We
And
are.
I'm paying my taxes
I
and
understand.
everything in this town, so I don't think it should take 15 years.
It won't. It won't.
Since
No, what I'm
this
saying
was
is that
already begun, you know, in the upper part of this neighborhood. Because why wouldn't it be completed when the water flows down in a neighborhood? So, yes, so as per Mike's encouragement, I am here, you know, trying to make you aware that, you know, this is a very frightening element to owning a home in this neighborhood now. So, I was not informed.
all right, we will respond to that.
Just so the board is aware, the reason it filed it for 17 years is we need an easement over there, and we couldn't get an easement. The Arnold Drive project, we already have all the easements over there. We did the first part of that project, Park Drive, a couple of years ago. And, the second part of that project is Arnold Drive, finished out the end of Park Drive. So I've already had a discussion with the board and with the engineer that we gotta get that. So that's something that we had, and Joy's Lane, good product that we got. We'll move forward.
If you do me a favor, we'll go ahead and give you your phone number.
Sure, and I have videos, you know, I'm documenting everything as well, so if you need, any information for the engineers.
Ellen?
Thank you.
I was curious if somebody could answer my question.
You can go ahead.
I-
Gloria, where do you live?
Ellen Mulcairn, 106 Pleasant Ridge Drive. And why does it say in the resolution to consent to the formation of the Cedar Development Sewer Works Corporation that the town engineer, quote, has examined the plans and specifications of the proposed system and provided a written report to the town board which determines that the proposed system is feasible and adequate. You are omitting something. He also said he thought that the sewage treatment facility was too close to some houses. Why is that omitted? That's what I want to know.
Omitted from,
From the
The thing that you're gonna sign a resolution on.
Ellen, I questioned the same thing when I saw this resolution today, so.
First of all, the draft of that resolution was based on his report, not on his statements, which occurred after this resolution was drafted prior to the agenda meeting. So that's one of the main reasons why that comment isn't in there. But basically, it's referring to the actual plans and specifications that the treatment facility would meet the requirements to treat it.
But you have an engineer's opinion on this settlement, whatever.
About the location.
Yeah, you have, on the consent. You have his words there, but you're omitting some very important words that a lot of us heard at the last town meeting. And if that gets built too close to people's houses, they're not gonna unbuild it. So now's the time to address it.
And we don't have the power to address it as a town. That's something that DEC has the power to address.
Well, they should know that our town engineer said that.
yeah, but his thing, you have to understand that, we have on the agenda, the city development, dealing with the sewage project, the wastewater treatment. All right, our role here, we have two choices in that matter. Either we do the project, or we consent for them to do it.
I understand.
All right, now, if, we don't want to do it, we're not going to do it. The consent is a different thing. Once the consent is given, then the DEC gets involved, and they have a public hearing that's going to come, talking about the wastewater treatment
And
center.
that's something.
And at that
major
point,
to be bringing out.
that's what you're doing up then. In other words, our portion of it is giving the consent.
Right, but if you're mentioning the engineers,
Yes.
what the engineer says,
That-
you're deliberately omitting
That's
what he
specific
said.
statutory language under the transportation law, basically, that it's
Oh.
required that an engineer find it adequate, that wording. And that wording was put in prior to that meeting when this is submitted for the
Okay.
agenda.
But this, again, like I said, there'll be a public hearing on this decision by the DEC before any kind of work is being
Where
started.
will that public hearing be held?
The DEC, when they schedule that, will send out notice. And
Hurley,
I
will
would
it
say
be
that the
at
town of Hurley should notify, put it on their website once we receive it, so that anyone can check the town of Hurley website.
So the town hall will provide a place for that meeting to be held?
It's up to the DEC where they do that.
We also make sure that everyone knows that it's going to be, sometimes they don't send out notices to the people who are close enough to it.
You'll get notice. You'll get notice now.
Okay, like the hell.
They'll notify us.
We're gonna be notified.
The DEC
So
will
I wanna
notify
make sure
us
that-
and they'll put
Yeah.
a public notice out there. I don't think that the DEC, I'm not sure exactly, so don't quote me, that they're required to send notice to individual property owners.
But they will notify us.
But
Okay, but you will make sure you,
and we'll make sure that the town puts it on the website and exactly, and hopefully
And
the
get
town board meeting.
I think it's already amended.
There are amendments, but I really, it's not relevant necessarily to the consent that we're providing.
But it says in the resolution that it was feasible and adequate,
Yes.
and it wasn't, that's not what
Do
he
you
told
want
us.
to contact the engineer and reiterate that he finds it statutorily feasible and adequate?
Because that's not what was stated
pertaining.
in the last meeting.
No, you guys were asking about specific other things pertaining to location. This is pertaining to whether the actual facility design is feasible and adequate to address the need.
That's what we addressed.
The needs of the people who will live in the
No.
condo?
No,
What about
the needs of how much water is being processed and,
What about the citizens' needs?
well, that's again,
That's
going
the
to the DEC.
That's still the
when
DEC.
They
That's
do
what
the
they do.
hearing and these are things that.
So you have to understand the fact that the planning board gave approval
I
to the
understand.
project. So
I understand.
our job right now is to get consent. That's all it, not necessarily, approve it, but just give consent.
It's just consent to form, for them to.
To form a
Right.
corporation,
I-
yeah, we'll run.
We're not giving them any approvals or.
Yeah.
That also
None
has
of our
to be done
approvals
through
have
the
to
process.
do with the specific, but that we're consenting and forming a corporation to operate this.
Right.
Now it goes to the DEC. We'll keep,
Yes.
you'll be informed.
Well, the last time the town had this situation, DEC notified the town clerk to run a legal notice with their.
We'll get that.
So when we get that, we can do whatever, the town clerk can do whatever they want to notify.
Who's next?
Rich.
Good evening, Rich Muggy, 165 Concord Lane. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Hurley Rec Association. I want to thank you. I haven't been to some of the meetings lately. I want to thank you for approving the resolution to go forward with the partnership with the town of Hurley for the sponsored common camp. But after speaking with John and Sarah, who works on our end, unfortunately, as of today, we have 0 applicants. So, yeah, this might take more than 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Basically, it's, my opinion is, it's not my opinion, but the threshold that we're using, it's first, the 2 biggest criteria have to be a town resident and we don't have the median income, 30% of the median income, and it worked out mathematically to be $29,000 and have kids 5 to 12. So the 3 criteria, 5 to 12, town, 29,000. Raise your hand if you know anybody who fits this criteria, because send them to us, get the application. Anybody in this room? Okay, so,
You asking us to, allow out of towners?
well, no, I'm not asking us that. So first thing I wanted to say, and I'm glad I wrote it down, is how did we get the message out? It did come a little late. Our board had to pass resolutions and have discussions. This board had to pass resolutions and discussions. And by the time everything finally got going and everything else cleared, I felt it kind of came out a little bit late, but not too late. We got the message, you guys got the message out on the town website. You sent it out, you're the media person.
So website, it's on Facebook, we emailed it to town residents.
It's on the Hurley, Citizens of Hurley. It's on the Hurley Rec Facebook.
We get a lot of shares. Yeah.
I personally helped with John, got 250 copies, hand delivered over to Meyer. My wife, who's a Spanish teacher at Ontario, translated into Spanish, so the backside was in Spanish, and the application is out also in Spanish. We have 0 applicants. So, okay.
Also, the deadline for that was supposed to be today. Do you want to move that out?
Absolutely. As far as I know, we're still holding seats. So, and it's kind of an a la carte system. So like, if nobody signs up the day before, obviously the application process will take a little later. We'll release those seats. But if people are wanting seats in August, we're still holding the seats for the town.
You want me to announce the deadline, or you just want to leave it open?
I would say now,
We also
I would say-
reconsider maybe raising the income.
increasing the threshold, moving
I'm
it
not
as
sure that
line.
anybody really can live in Hurley on that.
I don't want to say that. but
I'm saying it's, right, yeah. I don't know that anybody can live in Hurley on that number with
Right.
kids.
And then also being that I'm a teacher up at Woodstock, and today was the last day, so I'm happy. You can't, we don't have access to that information, I can't just walk in and ask the secretary, who are the families that would benefit, because that information is not obtained, and nobody can get it legally, even if they qualify for, the free lunch program, so. I don't know.
Right, and on the Kingston side, everybody gets free lunch.
Right, well, Ontario, I believe it's still continuing with everybody gets free lunch, but I don't think it's tracked the way it was. It was a little bit more open years ago, but there obviously is privacy issues, so it's hard to, we're getting the message out to everybody. And if there are people in the town, I'm sure there are people in the town who would qualify, but we're not reaching them.
What percentage of AMI is like 50 grand, 52,000 a year? Because that's still a struggle amount of money. You do that, like, that's my, somebody that's making $1,000 a week, it's, I think that's somebody that maybe lives in Harlem. Maybe. Right.
So when we figure out 30,000 and so forth. Half.
So that came off of New York State and Ulster County's AMI. based off of the income early. So that's how we came up with that. So that's what it's 30%.
Is that like a percentage of the poverty line or like what?
It's the median income. Okay. So at the 30%, or at the 29,000, was 30% AMI. If, we wanted to raise it, you'd be looking, I mean, we can raise it per child, for example. I mean, we can raise it 10,000. Say you have multiple children and you want to raise it to 10,000 a child.
To use the like box.
So we can, we can address this in many ways. Again, it's a pilot program. We're trying to figure it out, learn, so that we can move forward. We can have more people get involved. How doing something where we're setting a precedent and we don't offer it again following years. So these are the things that I have to think about financially.
Right.
But we can definitely sit down and talk about this. So you can send it out that it's still open.
Right, what I'll do is I'll remove the deadline, and then if you guys need to change the parameters, just get me a new form.
We'll have a new parameter, but
We'll punch that out too. Okay, yeah, just that in order to find.
Is that fair enough? I'll email it to the town board. We have the resolution, it's already in effect. Basically, the amendment's just gonna be what's gonna be coming out.
This is an aside to my bombs. I'll put it back in the newsletter because it was going to expire today. So, we got a newsletter, time newsletter's going out next Monday. So I'll include it.
Until all the seats are filled.
Until you want to move to 50%.
Yeah, what's 50,000?
I might want to mention that there's still time, so if we're gonna extend it, we can like, it's a later faster.
Ongoing and rolling. So filled.
Yeah, because you do it like in sessions in
It's not sessions, so we do. It's all just so people start for the dates.
so whenever they want to come, right? So somebody who wants to come in mid-July or in August, okay.
But for the camp, but it is, I believe for this program, it wasn't gonna be an à la carte situation. Basically, you get the whole block of summer, which some people also do.
Right.
Higher. Nearly 10.
Rich, what we're gonna do basically is we're gonna work on this, and we'll do it real soon.
Yeah, I wanted to just bring it to your attention.
Okay.
Camp started yesterday. I think it's going well. Is it going well? Any negative reports?
How many kids are there?
We're pretty full. We had, I think yesterday was 55 and we're slated for 60.
Okay.
So we're trying to get them
in
open,
2 days.
you know, and like I said, it is à la carte. So, you know, if people contact us the night before and they look to see if there's an availability, we release it. But people who are also planning vacations and they see that it's full in August, when it's not full, it's full -5. And then, you know, we all want to win. We all want to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Thank you. That was over 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks for, I appreciate everything you guys did.
Oh, thank you, guys.
That was tremendous.
Anybody else?
Anybody else want to public comment?
I make a motion to close public comment. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Okay, new business, early day. This is brought up. We lost Memorial Day because of weather coming through and, we'd like to have some sort of other celebration coming through. July 4th is way too soon, obviously. So we're thinking somewhere in September, after Labor Day, having a Hurley Day at the town park, where we're doing food in, music in, games in, and do something like this. And plus the fact that once this is done and so forth, we can always have it viewed, have our own Hurley Day, more or less, sponsored by the town, and invite. So we're gonna have a discussion about this a little later, about what we're gonna do with the Hurley Day, more or less. So stay tuned with that. Any comments here about Hurley Day?
You got my email about the rec, we met, the rec, board met, we talked about, discussed. So we can review those notes at the end, but I did send out an email, in reference to certainly rather doing it in October.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that. But they're all on board. I mean, I got a lot of things going on that people have really stepped up big for this event. That will be a great thing annually, like not just something to fall back on. We'll talk about.
Good enough. All right, resolutions. Oh, I'm sorry. Town clerk's report.
because of the metric we, I'm gonna just repeat it, the month of May. So month of May, there was a total of $15,925 that brought in for the town revenue. Bulk of that was the, what?
15,000.
15,925. Of that, 14,849 was for the building department. And then the transfer station permits was literally $60. So we're at the point of not selling that many permits any longer. And coupons for 3D clerk's office being $370. The month of June, we had a total revenue to the town of $9,799.50. Again, building department was $9,282. The other revenue was all minimal again. Landfill deposit, 600, sorry, 260.
What about the revenue from the transfer station?
That's going just directly into the general, it's not coming from here.
Thank you, further. All right, supervisor's report. We have, actually, basically, Wendy Trojak and Jim Quigley, we have produced the first quarter of financials. I mean, the first 3 months here. They're here. They're not totally complete yet. We still don't have the exact budget line, what the balance coming in, and what the balance is going out. That's being worked on right now. The program we have right now is not doing its job. So this was all done by hand by Jim Quigley and Wendy Trojak. And I want to commend both of them for the hard work that's being done there. We are going to go through and probably by end of July, have total counting of each budget line, what was spent and so forth, and what's left over coming through it. Here, we're getting it. This is the first thing that we've seen so far. Procedures being placed inside the clerk's office, being placed with how to collect money and so forth, is now bringing fruition, seeing things come through and making it a lot easier. I want to commend Wendy and Jim Quigley for doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
All right. Oh, by the way, and this whole report, if you want to peruse it, it's on the website. It's on the town website under the
Supervisor's page.
And if you have like 10 hours, read it.
It's also on
So you have 12 hours.
I got it like 3 times.
Okay. All right, resolution, consent for formation of the Cedar Development Transportation Corp.
Old stuff.
This is the current one.
Okay, so this is the current. So the initial draft that was submitted previous, there were a couple.
This is the current one.
Okay.
That's the one that you just said.
That's what we said.
That's the most recent.
Yes.
Okay, so there are, see,
For board members, you don't have this version, so you may find things that are different. If you want to correct them on your version.
yeah, so that's why we're going through this on here, and if there's any other changes or anything else that you guys want to discuss or propose, we can address those. So the first changes pertaining to the seeker and EC whereas clause. The whereas clause is pertaining to seeker, and that's on page 2. And basically, just cleaned up and separated certain things. So where it basically separates so that it read a little bit more clear, discussing the DEC speedies permit, DEC delegation of power under the Transportation Corporations law, and basically, like I can read the language from the old one, but basically just separating, kind of cleaned it up so it was a little easier to follow.
So Matt, this just says that you're granting or consenting to them forming corporation, and the speedies permit still has to go through the process.
Yes, we don't have authority to do anything with a speedies permit. That is complete authority is with the DEC.
But it has
As
to go
is.
through that full process.
Yes, and it's my understanding that they've been in the species permit review process. All of the materials, that, are submitted to us, pertaining to the specifications for the system were submitted to the DEC. The DEC is reviewing that. The DEC required to hold a hearing on that public hearing as well. What we are basically doing is that, in order for them to have a privately owned, company to operate this, the town needs consent. Okay. So that's basically the only authority we have and the only action really.
Well, there's a couple blanks in the monetary field.
Yes, and that's all filled in this new draft. So I'll go through that, after I go through, the whereas clauses. So those initial changes, there's the whereas the town is consenting to the establishment of the Sewers Works Corporation to allow the DEC the issuance of the WWTS species permit. The next change, will address your concern. The last whereas clause, pertains to the total 5-year cost will be apportioned to each of the 46 condominiums and common area bathrooms for a proposed per condominium sewer use fee of $1,319.07. That was the number that was discussed at the last meeting. We were talking about the common recommendation of the engineer. And that's where that number came from. And then the next is the actual action being taken in the resolution. Let's see. So the first part, again, kind of cleared up the language with making it clear that planning board already was lead seeker agency and did seek review of the neg deck, the date of that, as well as the history after that, in which that neg deck was upheld by Judge Mott. So if you compare the two language that from the previous draft and this, does appear easier to read and clear on its face. The next part is C under subsection 2, that the town consents to the filing of the certificate of incorporation, that rather than requiring a separate document, that this approval is subject to the conditions. The conditions are the same. The only changes with the conditions are that the number amounts are added in there, but rather than requiring a separate document, that the approval is subject to these following conditions. And then condition A, we added the amount of $500,000 for the performance bond. Condition B, $10,000 to be put in escrow for the reasonable cost of professional services related to this. As you guys are aware, we already have our engineer who's been reviewing. We'll need to continue to do inspections on the property throughout the process of the construction, as well as the final inspection when it's completed. Make sure everything is in spec and done as it should have been done. The next is number C, added the amount requiring the bond in the amount of $303,386. And again, that's the figure that was determined based on taking the number and adding the increase of the percentage as recommended by the town engineer to account for certain increases in costs. Let's see, and then let's see.
So A, that was, there's no number in that, right?
A has 500,000.
500,000.
And I know that the actual construction of the purchase cost was $375, if I'm correct with that. And then there's the additional potential materials and other, and that's basically where that round figure came from to account for any additional materials installation costs, in addition to 375 for the actual system itself. And then under section E. Let's see any changes there. Oh, yes, there is a change. So the change there is it says requiring Cedar Development. So Cedar Development is one entity. The entity that's being formed here is Cedar Development Sewer Works Corporation. Basically, the Sewer Works Corporation is the entity that we are consenting to its formation. So it's a separate business entity that's going to be running this. And as of right now, all the shareholders are Cedar Development, but eventually all those shareholders will actually be, you know, a condominium association. So once that changes, we don't want, you know, potentially one entity involved and responsible, but not the other ones. So that's why it's reworded as the shareholder of Cedar Development Sewer Works Corporation. The last change in there is the annual sewer use fee would be set in the amount of, added the number $1,319.07 per condominium unit per year.
Okay.
Any questions?
Okay,
I had a question.
well,
They allow.
you're gonna have to hold that till the end and then.
Public comment.
Okay, any further discussion on this?
I want to make a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion similar.
No, you need to make a motion.
And make a motion now. Make a motion to accept this, resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Gonna do a roll
Any
call.
nays?
Mike, let's do a roll call on that.
All right. Diana?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
I say aye also.
Gregory is.
Gregory is absent.
Supervisor members of the board, and go on to the DC, the public process there.
We're gonna get notice. That's where everyone is.
I'll get it.
We'll get it.
Okay, all right, the next resolution is amend recreation board to allow alternates. Okay, Diana, do you want to read this?
Well, no, I can just resolve.
Just the heading.
Okay, this is the resolution to amend recreation board membership to include alternates.
Second.
Therefore, be it resolved by the town board of town of Hurley to allow the town recreation board to appoint multiple persons an alternate role starting July 2024.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The next one is EMS attorney retaining agreement.
No, you can just read the heading and call the question.
This is resolution to authorize the supervisor to sign the routine agreement with Hannigan Law Firm PLLC. Therefore, be it resolved by the town board of the town of Hurley to authorize the supervisor to sign a routine agreement with Hannigan Law Firm PLLC. Whose estimated cost of $15,000 will come from fund line 8. What is that fund line to the A?
There is no fund yet. We have.
Okay. So the art, from the art.
It will come from the opera reserves. We'll get a fund line for that.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. All right, next one is the awarding of Wildwood RFP to Kingston Equipment Rental Inc. Okay, this is the town of Hurley resolution to award Wildwood RFP to Kingston Equipment Rental Inc. All right,
Second.
Second.
any discussion?
All over again.
All right. All right. All in favor? Opposed? So be it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next one is circulating classified cannabis law. And
You just got this down,
we
right?
just got this. We just got this. This was sent over. Yeah, this was just sent over to Bonnie Franson and right before a town board meeting, she sent us our comments and corrections on it. So all I want to do is I just want people to look at this, and at the next board meeting, we'll go through. And do this. There, if you look at this thing here, there's a couple letter from Bonnie Franson, and then here's the resolution, here's the law itself. And there's a lot of changes being made to that. So we're gonna discuss this at the next one. Going through it. All right, so this will be tabled for next.
At the end, there's a public comment.
Okay. All right, the designated schoolhouse road and school zone, that's gonna be tabled till next week. I'm sorry, next board meeting where we are going to, our agendas consist of the safety concerns in the town of Hurley. So that's gonna be tabled. Okay. All right, next one, allocate ARPA funds for replacement of the onboard used to monitor solar panels. All right, there's a correction here. The money is not coming out of ARPA, it's coming out of the building fund, line 1620.4.
Resolution on the screen is for that.
The ones
The resolution on this
On the screen.
is correct, yes, that's correct. All right, what has happened is that, let me just go back in there and just, clarify this a little bit. We have solar panels in the back, they are working, how do we know they're working? Our bills at certain sections there quite minimal, so we know they're working. How much you're generating, your guess is as good as ours. The device that measures it is not working properly. So we spent $675 to have Castleman, who installed the panels, come in here, tell us that that's not working. All right, so, and they suggested we replace the onboard, which is the, inside the server room over here. And the onboard costs $1,200 to replace. Because they came and told us it's not working, they're not gonna charge us to install it. So it's gonna cost $1,200, plus we've already paid them $675 to come down and tell us it's not working. So, this is basically, what is going through it. So what I like to do is, again, this comes out of the building lines fund and not ARPA money. Therefore be resolved by the town board of the town of Hurley to allocate the $1,200 to the building funds received to the replacement of the solar panel employed by Castleman Solar LLC Fund Line A1620.4.
Second.
Any discussion? And by the way, that works real fine, the solar panel. You know, I'm impressed of, Irma keeps telling me, you know, you don't need to get the monitoring because just look at the bill from Central Hudson and all we're paying basically is the meter cost coming through. But again, like the last meeting, I was insisted that we get it fixed, so.
Look at maintaining things, you know?
I know, okay. Any further discussion?
I think it's good to maintain, you know, things that are owned by the town, right? Same way I would maintain them at home, right? Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So be it. Okay, next one here is the allocate. Yeah, I know, but this, okay, we allocate for the library disbursement. I guess, Tim, you wanna?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this is a resolution to allocate building funds to the library disbursement. Town needs to reconcile its financial for library disbursement in the amount of $3,000. So therefore be it resolved by the town of Hurley to allocate $3,000 to the building line received by the library disbursement on June 18th, fund line A1620.4. Any discussion? I need a second.
I second. So what do we do? We just pay them about for 2025?
So
Some of us show.
So discussion.
What is the?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. We have, all right, this, this is coming out of ARPA money. I have to correct this. This is coming out of ARPA money. And what this is, this was allocated last year, last July, by, the previous board, previous administration. However, there was no resolution allowing it. We have to actually go back. And the $3,000 that we spent to give to the library, we have to allocate it out of ARPA as it was designated back then.
And
Since there was no resolution, we now have a resolution here because we have to go and reconcile all the ARPA.
okay, Mike, so then does that need to be amended? Say fund line, ARPA fund?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's move motion to amend this resolution to say fund line, ARPA money, blank, ARPA money.
Just use the old one.
Fund line, blank, ARPA money.
In other words, we have
Right,
one,
we've done it with the
one in
other.
our packet is the correct one.
One in our packet. So,
Yeah, okay.
so they did pay
Not
it
the one
on
that
the
was
resolution, or they did pay it?
They paid, it was, well, according to, what I have here, it was dispersed. According to what I have here, there was no resolution, for that disbursement.
Okay.
And, we have to count for every single, money, any single line that we pay for ARPA. And so we have to make a
Was it for
resolution.
both libraries or just one library?
This was. You just,
So it was funds that were allocated and paid last year that were never, there was never
Never
a
counted.
resolution to authorize.
Right, but my point is, if you only do one library. you can do
Well,
it.
Well,
well, here's what it says, here's what it says here. This was actually given to Hurley Library in 2023. It was dated on January 18, 2023. It was for program. I'm not quite sure what it was, but this is what, was reported on, at the ARPA. Now, what they have asked us is, there is no resolution.
was it Westerly or is? was it
Didn't
the
say
other-
anything, just said Hurley Library.
It's an old library.
I said Hurley Library, it was probably the Hurley, old Hurley Library. I think.
Right, we got enough Westerly.
Right, so this is $3,000. Again, it says it was not authorized by a resolution, it needs to be authorized by a resolution. So this is from ARPA money.
It's already, it's already.
Already paid.
Yeah.
We're just
We
covering.
just have a resolution to talk about it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Allocate ARPA funds for the final valuation company payments. And again, we have, doing the reevaluation costs $110,000 to do the entire reevaluation.
The assessment.
The assessment, I should say. And so basically what it is that we've already paid out, something like $60,000 from the last year. This year, we're paying out $52,500. And again, this comes from ARPA money. And again, it has to be a resolution allowing us to do this, take the money from there. So this is just a resolution allowing us to, use ARPA funds to cover the cost of the final 5 months of the revaluation of the assessment project.
Get a second first. Get a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
We already paid the final payment though, right?
We have paid, so far, we have paid, paid everything. The last payment was done in May.
So this is just to,
This
this
is
resolution to say that we did the reconciliation.
This is reconciliation that we paid.
But was the money supposed to come out of ARPA funds from the very beginning?
Yes,
So
there was a resolution, there was discussion last year of doing the reevaluation, the reval, and it was then suggested, to do the ARPA money. So the,
So did
last
we use for the whole 10 months, did we use $100,000?
$110,000 used.
All came out of ARPA?
All came out of ARPA. All came out of ARPA. And $60,000 came out from last year. So we, in other words, we need a resolution for 2024, allowing $52,500.
was there a resolution for the last year's?
According to what I have here, it says that, like the other one, it says this was not authorized. Here it doesn't say this was not authorized. I imagine it was authorized last year.
Just, I mean, that it's kind of gonna piggyback, but that resolution that was passed last year, so it stated the total amount that was gonna be utilized. So potentially that resolution should
To
cover.
cover the whole thing, but again, they're requesting a resolution for 2024. The resolution.
Jim has done extensive research in the resolutions.
Right.
So this is him following up to make sure that every basis is covered. Yeah, so I would say the fact that he is extremely thorough, that he reviewed all the resolutions, and this is
We
what
know
he
when it comes
found.
down, this is gonna be presented.
Well, this is, yeah, this is,
We have to cover every
Well,
basis.
we are gonna have to send a accounting, a reconciliation of all of our months.
Right.
And we have to have resolutions showing where it went. So we have to do this thing. It's
So
all
let
made.
me ask this, when we were talking that there was 165,000, before we were talking about the EAMS.
That was-
But did that already include this coming out?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As it is right now, with this 42,000 taken out, we have net, well, we took some money out just now for the law
15.
firm. Right.
Right.
So, not including the 15, there is $163,000 unexpended so far.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
It's money for EMS, which is gonna be about, yes. And we also need a resolution because we're taking EMS money.
Right.
From
Yeah,
ARPA.
no, that-
We need a resolution, we did that just now.
We did that knowledge.
Yeah, as we spend it, we won't.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
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 And as you know. Okay, so, this resolution, again, resolution to allocate American Rescue Plan ARPA funds to industrial and utility evaluation consultants. And
Moved and seconded.
Yeah, so we did discussion, so we just have to withdraw for a vote.
Yeah,
All-
go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, all those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I think we,
We have one more. We're gonna do this one. It wasn't on the, it wasn't listed.
oh, yes, this, there's two
No,
more.
the building.
Yeah, there's two more. You want? This is your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do this one. There's gonna be discussion. Maggie, do you have this one? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so this is a resolution to appoint additional part-time building inspector. I'm just gonna read the whole thing, because I think this is new. I don't know, everybody knows about this. Whereas the town of Hurley Building Department has recently hired Robin Coleman as a part-time assistant municipal code officer, building inspector. And whereas Robin Coleman is now slated to work 14 hours per week. And whereas Clark Kimball has previously worked in this capacity as a temporary employee for the town. Therefore, be it resolved by the town board of the town of Hurley to appoint Clark Kimball to the part-time municipal code officer, building inspector 1, civil service number 4430, non-competitive, for 6 hours per week at the rate of $32, as well as to fill in per diem when needed. These hours are contained within the existing fund line A3620. Second,
I second it.
and discussion. No problem with this.
What's that?
There's no problem with this. Go ahead, 6 hours a week. Just have what, have a 6 hour person, do 20, and get rid of the 14-hour person. He can't work that much.
Here's the thing, with,
They don't have enough desks in there.
no,
They're
no.
working on different days.
In other words, having these three, we cover every single day now with Paul and somebody else. Right. The reason being is very simply is that when, we hired Robin Coleman to be the, building inspector, this was 20 hours, it was actually meant to be 5 hours, 5 days a week, 4 hours a week. A day. And what happened basically was, turns out that she couldn't do it. She had to have the 3 days a week, and then family obligations, she can only do 2 days a week. All right, and so what we're doing is we're trying this out. I spoken to Paul economist. She's been going out and she's gotten rave reviews from all the constituents she's working with. Well,
Talk about Robin.
what? Clark Kimball, he can't do 20 hours. He is going for Social Security. And as a Social Security thing, you got a limit on how much money you can make the first year. So he can't do the 20 hours. He is willing to come in and do the 6 hours. To cover the Friday, to make that even and go from there. All right, I've spoken to Paul about this and we're gonna try this out, see how this thing works. You talk about the fact that there's now 4 people working in there besides, the secretary, but they're all on different days. Tim?
Well, I have a couple of concerns. I can see a lot of payroll creep, is what it's called in business, in the building department, right? just a few years ago, with the town population virtually unchanged, we had one building inspector full-time who had an assistant, okay? And now I would love to see, you know, a spreadsheet showing maybe like the last 10 years, the number of permits, okay, that the building department has worked on, and the payroll total of the building department, so the dollars per permit that we're spending. And in order to continue to, you know, like approve, I want data showing that we need this, and this isn't just a relation of like things being delegated and an employee not doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's gotta be, there's a root cause to this, and is it more permits? Is it, you know, over delegation and creation of bureaucracy within the building department? What is the reason, the root cause for this? So, I will not approve more employees in the building department.
All right, the thing is with, the budget by itself is not gonna be increased at all. All right, where we actually had a resolution, last time to hire, a part-time employee for 20 hours a week. All right, that person can only do 14 hours. All right, so we contracted a person who worked at before, a temporary worker, did the other 6 hours. So between, these two people, they're working at 20 hours. They will not overlap. All right, they are contiguous. Sense. Now, I know it's not an ideal situation having, two people.
I'm just saying between now and when we work on next year's budgets, I want to see,
Yes.
like, why this building department has become this big kind of org, you know, like why there's so many employees within this department, but it's a two-person department. You know, 3 years ago, it was a two-person department. And there's been an unbelievable amount of turnover in the department.
Right.
And I would just like to get it back to where it's a, you know, things are hunky dory.
The thing is, watching them working in the town, and the building department, they're overworked. There's a lot of things going on there. And, you know, I don't see the inspectors sitting around in the office doing nothing. They're out in the field all the time. Paul is here right now. And, the thing is though, that, this is work that's being done. We have fire inspections that need to be done. We have SGRs, we had that before, being, taken care of also. We now have also issues with stormwater, much more so than last time. So, you know, there's a lot more responsibility put on the building department that we need this thing.
I'd like to see a presentation.
Okay.
Right, it's, I know what you're saying about permits, but I agree.
Permits, different types of matters, whatever the reason is, like, this is how many dollars we're spending and this is how many things that are being touched. You know, like the tracking of that and the data, a data-driven analysis of that, rather than just continually adding people in that department. But it's gone from a two-person department to,
3 person.
Now it's a 3-person.
It's a 3-person.
well, there's,
One additional person. No,
No, no.
but it's right, because the part-time is not like wheels, right? And it's not.
I'm gonna approve this.
Okay, we're gonna review this again.
Yes.
They don't, we definitely, you know, I spoke with you, Paul, and I want to try to put them on, see how this thing works out.
Okay.
It works out, but, you know, see how that works out, so we want to accommodate. All right, everybody did. But I just want to say that the building department is working. I mean, they're really going through a lot.
It's hard to stamp these days, anything.
Let's take a vote.
Just one more comment, quick. The template's on, that's currently in place, the templates are now. Right, oh, so it's totally different.
Robin can't do 20 hours, can do 14.
And the attempt that we had
Right now,
before.
saying it's temp, a very good amount
You're
of
talking
money.
about the
That's
total.
more- Yeah, no, I'm talking about the building department.
Aaron's.
Yes.
So you-
No,
Oh, the 8. That's different.
that's different. We
I'm
didn't discuss
just
it.
answering the question, which is, he's asking.
Yeah.
The
I was
temp
trying to
services.
put numbers together, comparison, because you're paying for a temp, which is more money. You think about your payouts, your insurance.
So maybe we should.
We are,
hold on this.
the thing is though, what's happening right now is that.
Which is separate.
Yeah, but this.
But I'm just concerned with dollars and cents.
I mean, is it normal temp?
No.
No.
No, this isn't, but you do have a normal temp in there.
We have a normal temp right now.
For
Second.
somebody who is on it.
Now, the reason being that's happening is right now is that, we have to go in a civil service,
Correct.
all right? And so basically right now, we are paying $17 an hour until until we get, the union construction coming through. Talking to Samara and talking to civil service, nobody wants to take that job at 17 an hour.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Right, so, and if, which has been a sense, it's not a bad thing, because then if no one takes it, we can then hire somebody who's not on the list. Going through there. Now, there is negotiations going on to raise the salaries of all the secretaries.
Okay, I just was.
Can I ask you guys to just vote on this, please?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I also don't about the second about the social security, 6 hours.
Just vote. Can you vote on it, it can be done, and then you guys can tell us.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the last thing here, this, we just got this today now, and this came from, one of the employees from, the highway garage.
I think this is an executive session.
Now, are you going to restate? This is something.
Exactly, discuss it in that next session.
All right, this will be held up to the executive session.
You know, protect your employees.
Yeah. Okay,
Good catch.
all right, old business, safety committee.
Yeah, just give a quick update. So the safety committee is gonna present at the next workshop. So we're gonna form a presentation on everything that they've been working on. And that'll pertain to road safety. So just the safety committee. The EMS, I'm gonna report out on the EMS. But we attended an Ulster County, Wendy and I attended a Ulster County Safe Start to Summer. It's a traffic safety campaign. Hurley's gonna participate in that, and we're gonna focus on, there's focuses on 3 things: education, engineering, and enforcement. Education, so the plan there is to work with community to develop a focus of different aspects related to bicycle, pedestrian, and vehicle safety. We'll educate the public, track ways to bike, walk, and drive on our roads. Engineering, we're going to work with local officials to establish safer roads. We're working on that now, sidewalks, various different things. Enforcement, Wendy and I will be going tomorrow to pick up 2 speed monitoring devices that the county is going to lend to us. And we'll be putting those on various roads in the town. We've also engaged with the sheriff and the state police to come and do some enforcement for us, and I can attest that they've already started that. They are pulling people over at the stop sign at the bottom of Russell, Schoolhouse in Russell. And then I'll just give a quick on EMS. We just approved to get the lawyer, so we're going to start the planning and formation now of the taxable district. We have to do that first before we even pick a solution. That's the first step in the process. They are going to be presenting to the fire commissioner boards in July, and we'll announce the date, exact date, time, and location through our information officer. We should publish that next week. And then that's pretty much it. I'm not going to say much more because I'll let the safety committee do a nice presentation in the next meeting.
Okay,
I have just one comment. I was out this weekend and, I was reiterated, the sheriff's at the bottom of the Schoolhouse in Russell, this week. A lot of us are very happy. They're seeing the enforcement being made. The one thing the request was, this is actually the first time I got pulled over, could we put a stop line in?
Yes.
They weren't upset that they got pulled over, but if they had seen a stop line, they would have known that the stop sign was there as well. It kind of like coincided with each other. And I say that too, because if he goes to the court, he might be able to fight that ticket.
well, how about put some kind of stop line? How about putting usually like 400 feet in front of the stop line? Stop sign is a sign saying,
That's
Not
not
ahead.
might be on Main Street at that point, but I'm just saying. Stop line would be, we can do that, it's the town's responsibility.
I know Mike has in his plan to actually make that intersection a T.
Yes, he wants to narrow it.
Right, but that's not gonna happen anytime,
Throw some things up.
like, yeah, right, so, Mike, did you hear that comment? So somebody that got pulled over, said there was no stop line on the road for the stop sign at, Schoolhouse in Russell. So they're looking, is there just a way just to put a stop, just put some paint down and put a stop line down?
There's not a stop line in the town of Hurley, any stop sign.
Yeah, there is. They just really added.
Only at county intersections where it's county or the state puts them on.
Okay, that's a good point, valid point.
Okay.
But I'm just, it's a request from
We're
the,
gonna take and, put the lineators down, Schoolhouse. I just telling Mike, we're prepping road for paving. I got 4 men out, well, I got 1 man out for, yeah, I got others on vacation, so I got 6-man crew, we're prepping and, we'll get to it all, it's just,
just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But, we're gonna put the lineators down, then we're gonna put a stop sign in, and we will paint a line. There's not, in town of Hurley, you go on any of our stop signs that are town of Hurley stop signs.
Yeah.
So we have no paint on any of those.
Yeah, I know.
We have a yellow line, we have some stop lines. And that's what I had Sullivan was gonna come in and talk to the safety committee about crosswalks, stop lines, and all that, so we're going to put more to the MAQCD.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, next one is the highway garage update.
All right, Maggie, you have the map for the.
I do. So,
So we met yesterday again with, John Brust from, if you just want to go down to the bottom corner, that's great. So you can see there's a map there, it's the same map. So basically the idea is this area right here, where you see there isn't a lot of gradient. See, anywhere where these spans are like close together, folks, for those that don't understand topographic maps, this means that there's a lot of like slope change. So this is a more level area. So this is where we actually want to put the highway garage. It's kind of like the town of Milan solution that you've seen before, which is park with highway garage. And the entryway will be here for the garage. The garage will be in this area here. And then the basketball court will be probably relocated back over to here. So the tennis will be adjacent to the driveway in, but like, again, they're gonna be fenced separately, so you won't be able to come from the park into the highway garage area. And basically what this does is it just makes best use of this area is all very disturbed from like previous quarrying activities. So there's areas like the first place that we had, there was a lot of objections from the public regarding Native American artifacts. So we've, sought to switch to a better location. So this is currently, we're looking at the feasibility of this. So the next update, John's gonna bring some of his guys in, and they're gonna look at this a little, study this more from an engineering perspective. But this is the current site that we're hoping for. So that is all on that.
I want to ask you also, in order to do that, in order to take parkland.
Yeah, we're gonna do an alienation.
We're doing an alienation. And the alienation involves 2 things. We have to contact Michelle Vincent and Sarah Hanastrada, and they have to present to the state legislature in January a bill alienating that. Now, in order for us to alienate that park there, we have to give, if we take like 5 acres, for example, out of the park, we must give 5 more acres to the park. And this is where Tim mentioned is an area, that the town does own. It's not parkland, adjacent to parkland, that has the Native American artifacts there. So right away, we make that into a parkland.
Yeah, so like, this is the closed landfill here. No. This is all parkland. Anywhere in the green barrier is already parkland as it is. So if you scroll up again, Maggie. Yeah, here we go. So this is the closed landfill right here. And so to the rear of that, this area here, which is where, especially like right in here, which was the original idea for putting a highway garage, this area here as potentially has Native American artifacts, so we would be swapping that. And my idea is to swap, if you go back down all the way to the bottom, Maggie, is to swap like 7 acres while we're doing this, so that we have this area here for the highway garage. And while we're not currently asking the public to go to a municipal facility, to build a municipal facility, doing this at the same time, that way there's a potential for a future municipal use where there's that parking lot as it is. You know, I was thinking like a nice, maybe like 3-story building with a court, you know, like on the basement level, and then kind of all the town offices on the middle level, and then a big room for us all to hang out and have a meeting in up on the upper level, right? So with an elevator, right, yes, and a nice new modern elevator building. So that, with putting that here. So that's just a thought, but this is a need. So, yeah, doing that, but with an eye to the future, so that we have that. We don't have to go through that alienation process again when we want to. And this is not used as a park ever, this area here. And the auxiliary parking use can be maintained regardless of whether it is considered parkland or not. So, all right. Old library.
Go ahead, hold on, you got it.
All right, so old library, as I've stated previously, we've retained Paul Jankovic for that. And right now, the draft name for that project is the Hurley Community and the old Hurley Community and Heritage Center. And right now, we have gotten a lead report back. The results were lead. Okay, and we're waiting on the asbestos reports. The anticipated result is asbestos. So those are, we knew that, but we have to, as part of this feasibility process, we have to test and, you know, make data-driven decisions. So, yeah, we're just waiting for, and then Vernier and Larios is still in process of doing a survey. We're on their list, and that's where we're at with that. So eventually the deliverable will be a full set of plans. We'll have, you know, and a basically a feasibility study that can then be, you know, used to obtain grant funding or, you know, et cetera, and hire contractors and complete the project. So that one is chugging away toward completion. And I've been, you know, I check in with who's ever working on that on a weekly basis. Every Friday they get a phone call from me so that you know, they know that we're watching, that these things do not slip into the cracks. So, all right, that's it.
Debbie,
Yeah, we have one more thing. This just came in today.
2 more things.
2 more things. Oh, you have something? Okay, I have one more thing. This is a letter from Jack Young, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read the letter. So, dear Mike, these are the explanations for how I came to have 2 flags that ceremoniously flew over the Capitol building of the United States. I served on the Military Academy Selection Committee and then Representative John Faso during the 2 years of his service in that position. I was selected to serve because I'm a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. Mr. Faso, like his predecessors, wanted a representative balance representing all 4 academies on his committee. With his departure, he thanked us individually and presented each member with a flag and a certificate. The flag from Senator Corrin's office was requested by a dear friend with whom I served while in the U.S. Navy. He wanted to recognize my retirement from the Naval Reserves. My friend worked in the D.C. Office of Homeland Security. He asked a fellow contact from the Senator's office for a favor. So after that, and that's the history of how I came to own these 2 flags. Elle and I are pleased that they will then be appropriately flown by our hometown of Hurley, New York. So he presented these 2 flags to Mike for the town of Hurley. And it's really cool. Yes.
I want to give these flags to John. This is for basically like the Hurley.
I can be in flags.
Right. And these are big.
Let's get a little right now.
There you are.
Don't forget it.
The last piece
Add
of
that
this,
to the file.
The library community center as well. One up there and one there,
Hold up.
right?
Elliot wants to talk.
Yeah, just, one last thing. It came to my attention, when they charged that voice, it's up to me, that we're paying county waste $47.70 to come and take the garbage every week over there. Sorry, Wendy. Debbie came to me and said, she gave me the bill. She gave me the bill.
Okay.
So Debbie came to me and saying that why are we paying $47.70 a month when we have a maintenance man who goes at least once a week to the, transfer station? Why can't you do that? And I think that's a great idea. I called them up to cancel.
We've been down this road before.
I know, I
So
know.
many
But
times.
what happens if you don't have maintenance person?
Right.
Then we come back with this then, if you do. But right now, that maintenance person who's here,
And how much we pay the maintenance guy? $20 an hour. You're not saving,
25 an hour.
you're not saving any money by using the maintenance guy.
But I'm saying that he goes up to the park to do a lot of work.
Also goes on
But
vacation.
I know, but you're not saving, it's not a money saver. but
Like,
you're
just
paying
keep it,
$50. Just keep, that's all right.
We had so much part of
that's how, that one's a nickel holding up a dollar.
All right. I was gonna say basically anyway, in order to cancel this, we have to give him 6 months,
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
To be taken out by the right people.
All right. Okay, I think the agenda here is done. We have executive session coming through. We now have, I want to open up for the second public comment.
I second.
Is there a second discussion?
I just wanted to say something.
Hang on. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, okay. Ellen, you in favor, Ellen?
Yeah. It's about the,
Wait, see, this is my.
Hold the mic down. Otherwise, it just doesn't pick it up.
Is it?
the settlement agreement that you referenced in the thing you just signed for the, yeah. So that's being referenced, the settlement agreement from 2022. That says, it has some of the conditional conditions that were stated when the planning board in August of 2021 agreed to them. And it's supposed to include all of them as an addition at the end of it. If you go look at that settlement from 2022, and you scroll down, they're not included, they're not attached. And if you want to find all the conditions from the original planning board of August 2021, you can't access that on the town webpage. So where can the public find the original conditional agreements that the planning board made as a part of the?
I'm gonna show you right now.
Thanks, Leonard. Take it offline after.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll show you after the meeting. And
Well,
it's good.
I might not be the only one who wants to see it. It should be put on the.
It is on, it's on the planning board page. Yeah, it's on the planning board page.
Sure, it's on the
planning
website.
board.
Under August, for the August
No,
2021.
it's on the planning board page on news and announcements, right, so that it stays with, it's always there.
And is it the same?
It's the exact document that the planning board.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
It's
that's
got the
there.
signatures, it's got everything.
So on our website, just choose, boards, you go on, choose government, you go on.
Right, that's why I
board,
wanted to
And you'll
show.
see it.
Okay, you can show it.
When?
I'm gonna be LA Walton Lane. The document from the cannabis law. Do you mind making that public so that we can get any comments on it?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to review it too.
Yeah, we just got, literally.
We just,
I know you just got
Yeah.
it, so I
Are
know
we-
you're gonna review
are we
it.
able to get a
It'd be nice
copy of
if
it to
other
read?
people in town could look at it.
It'll be on our
Put it on
website.
the
Website.
Town website.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll put it up as a trend.
it's a big announcement. We just got this in an hour before the meeting started.
Sure, great. And so, and then it'll be discussed in more detail next
Yeah.
week or next.
It's.
yeah, and it's just been sent to the
Second
county.
Tuesday.
Public hearings on this.
And,
It's
yeah,
far-
there's all,
And there will eventually be a public hearing on it.
This is the local law, so local involves public hearings. So, we'll have the discussions.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Anybody else want to talk? You have a smoking. All right,
Motion goes up.
I'm trying to.
no, I mean, motion to close public hearing. Any discussion? All in favor of closing, say?
Can I say, can I say one more thing? Sorry if this is sort of out of context, but sure.
Name.
Hi, my name is Dakota Miller. I'm on Hurley Mountain Road. I don't know if this is on.
It is on. It is.
I'll speak loudly. My wife and I own and operate, row by row farm on Hurley Mountain Road. Dakota Miller is my name. We just wanted to, respond maybe more generally to the building department situation. I came into the building department after not coming in for a while. And there were 3 people working in there. I needed something that was really time sensitive and very urgent. And in the past, when it was, and I know there's been a lapse here, but when it was Glenn and Monica, and just the 2 of them, it was very hard to get information, develop some correspondence, move a building project forward with that staff and that dynamic in there. And it was a totally different and positive experience coming in to get a simple certificate of occupancy that I should have gotten months ago. We'll turn it around immediately. And who's the other guys who's working in the Harold, who's really great, really professional, pleasant, good vibe in there. And it was really nice to come in there and have something very basic taken care of in a time sensitive way. It should have been, and that probably in the past would have taken, I don't know, maybe a week plus. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You like the positive.
What's that?
You like positive.
So Ellen, if you look, so this is the website, right? Okay.
You have a motion on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor? Closing public comment.
Did that. We now have executive session. Discussing.
Second.
Okay, so if you want, anybody else, Ellen, that wants to know
Okay.
about
Let's just discuss the executive session as
You're welcome.
pursuant to Public Officers Law 105F. It looks like now, based on this letter that I was just shown, there are 2 separate matters pertaining to issues leading to appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, et cetera.
Who we bringing in?
Bringing in Tracy, bringing in Matt Jankowski, we're bringing Paul Connells also.
John, Eric?
I'm John Perry, of course, yes.
All right, so there's a motion on the table to go into executive session for those purposes.
Denver?
All in favor? Aye.
Mike, will there be any action after the executive session?
Okay, so I'll stay.